Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Doujinshi, and welcome back to another episode of Hentai Reviews, the only series where we watch anime instead of hentai, at least for now, because I'm a sociopath and I have a morbid curiosity. Today we'll be looking into episode 3 of Redo of Healer, because I hate myself, and my friends found out that I did this series, and now they're eagerly waiting. Currently, I have not seen the episode, but I will be able to do it later, so what you're seeing right now is me not being exposed to the next episode. And given how it went last time, let's see where this goes, because I can only do so much. I'll be right back, so cut to the SpongeBob picture. And I'm back. God, if this series wasn't on this website, I would not be reviewing it. So, we around these parts are here for a few reasons. Number one, perseverance. Number two, we have gumption.
I hate this series so much.
And number three, we're masochists, apparently.
Why do they want more?
But, let's continue. Let's go ahead and get out the green notebook and start this review, why don't we? Episode 3 of Redo of a Healer, done by our hated enemies over at TNK, with around 24 minutes and 6 seconds, has the exact same categories and exact same tags as the original. Well, and the second one after that. So, let's get to what's going on, because God knows nobody else is gonna. It starts out with our main two protagonists, the recently erased memory, and both changed faces, is of ℍ𝕖𝕟𝕟𝕒 and Freya. Those are their new names, that apparently. They leave town with what they stole and are using that to try to hide away from it. As he's leaving, he then realizes that, oh shit, there was another sister. The sister of the princess that he had just got done doing horrible shit to, even though she had done much worse shit to him, as we will continue further. He is sweating as he walks away because apparently she's a bitch and a half and doesn't want to have to deal with him. In which case, they also find out that the main guard, the one that he had been impersonating in the very end of the last episode, had been charged with the murder, or at least the disappearance, of the princess. Yes, and then the opening plays. Gotta say, it's a pretty shit opening, and I'm not a fan. It then cuts to a flashback of horrible, horrible shit just going on. Starting out with the three characters, Flare, the princess that got fucked up and now is Freya. There's Blade, Bitchface McGee, I'm pretty sure it's a dude, but also looks like it could go either way. And Bullet. Big, darker-skinned, buff, kind of looks like a character from Guilty Gear. In which case, it shows them practicing. And then it then cuts to later in the day, where it's night out, and our good boy, who definitely can't catch a break, not a good boy, fuck this guy, is begging for the same amount of drugs that he's needed, while it's like put between the thighs of Flare, and he's acting like a dog, like stop, don't, get closer, don't, and he's reacting as he should, trying to get closer to the vial. I don't know if these count as scenes, but this is what the channel is known for, so we're gonna have the timestamps for it. Scene 1 begins at about 5 minutes and goes to 5 minutes and 35 seconds of her taking those drugs and then kind of lathering it up in her hands and shoving it all the way inside of her, hopefully in the front hole, hopefully not the back hole. That's a whole nother thing I don't want to get into. And telling him that that's where he can get it, in which case she's a sick bitch. If he wasn't a drug-addled torture victim, this would actually be really cool. Except don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Then it cuts to 6 minutes and 30 seconds in to 6 minutes and 50 seconds in of her being also a bitch, but in a sexual way, and essentially saying, no, I remember what it was. I remember what it was, and I wish I didn't remember what it was. She takes another vial of the rest of those drugs, and then opens it up, and then stomps his dick in. That's not cash money, but it happens. And then she pours the vial on his dick, and then says, "You can have it if you can reach it." Which, listen, I'm gonna be real here. Autofellatio is hot as fuck in a lot of contexts, but not this one. How did you somehow find a niche and then ruin it? Oh my god, this... And they even show the shadow of, like, what he looks like with his neck all the way bent down, doing the whole thing. And I gotta say, I want to kill this bitch. Oh my god, I want her dead. I don't even care if she's, like, broken mind, no memories, and now she's a nice person. I want her dead on principle. Then it cuts to a little bit later of him walking out of the whole thing, of the tent, going back to his tent. But before he reaches his tent, the Blade character, who I said was either a guy or a girl, and I couldn't tell, well, gets really jealous that he had his mouth and tongue around her bits. So he takes him over to the wood lines and then beats him with a fucking wooden rod. I would say a stick, but this is not a stick. This is a straight up whack. This is whack club whack. Just whack, whack, whack. And beats the shit out of him, and then does something weirder by saying, "Your tongue was inside of her, and I love her, and I want what's inside of her." So he starts not making out, just straight up licking his tongue. You know that awkward moment in kissing someone where you don't fucking know what's going on, but your lips aren't touching? Pretty much that. And the whole time he's doing that, he's got his hand down his own pants. And it's pretty fucking awkward. Like, I didn't want to be here, and nobody else wanted to be here, but we were definitely here. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Oh, and I found out, a few of my friends found out that I do this series, like I said before. Fuck you, Christian. Fuck you for even telling me about this, and fuck you in general. So, let's go ahead and continue on. After that disturbing mess, the androgynous Blade character stands up and kicks the shit out of him a few more times. In which case, ℍ𝕖𝕟 walks back over to his tent, in which case he opens it up and he finally makes it, only to see that there are flowers and rosebuds all across the dirt floor. And then Bullet is behind him, the big, big dude. Yeah, he's not that stable, and I don't want to be here. And that is where 9 minutes into 9 minutes and 35 seconds. God, I hate my life. I wrote down here BDSM ? Because I was actually waiting. And then no. Just NO period. This is not BDSM. It gets mean with him not the cash money. Okay. He then wakes up because he realizes, oh shit, this was all a bad dream. In which case, he's in a tent with Freya, and they're naked. It implies that they had sex, but it doesn't actually show anything, so it moves forward. And then it goes to them saying, hey, let's make it over to where we can. They make it their way to a new town, which is free, has a lot of stuff to it. There's a lot of disease and poverty and crime, all that crazy shit. Kind of place you'd start out in the beginning of an adventure. But once he makes it all the way over there, he finds out that he pretty quickly, immediately finds out what they're all suffering from, which, dude, you have like a magic eye that can sense a whole bunch of different shit, but I highly doubt that it tells you where diseases are coming from. That's kind of the point of a quest-giving just relay. You're supposed to find shit and then put information into it. But I'll say you healed the information into yourself, because that just fucking works, apparently. Afterwards, he goes back to the place that he's been, the hotel sort of place, and continues to drink water after he was already in a restaurant drinking the water and he told Freya not to. He's kind of like building up his own ability to kind of create an antidote for it. Makes his way back to where he's going, and then makes an antidote out of his blood. Goes over to, goes over to a shopkeeper and says, hey, would you like to buy this and continue to sell it? And he sells that, but he also makes some weird threats, kind of like, hey, if you don't pay me back a certain amount when I sell to you again, then I'm not going to sell to you ever again. Kind of those sorts of threats. And then leaves, and then says, hey, you know those, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the actual word on YouTube, and we've been growing with a certain amount of subscribers lately, thank you very much, I super appreciate it, but I don't want to get demonetized, I don't want to get, not demonetized, I'm not even monetized as is, I don't want to get, flagged, so I'm just not going to say the word, let's just say, unpaid employees. People who get to work for free against their will forever. I don't want to name any races because that's going to get me messed up. What white people mostly feel bad about? If you catch my drift, he goes to buy one of those at a store and says he's looking for a combat one of them. And then the guy's like, alright, you can make your way down. And he starts going around. He's like, do you have any ones that are very, very cheap? Or at least on the brink of death? And he goes all the way over to where there's a group of very angry, very diseased-filled ones. Oddly enough, all of them have, wolf sorts of, fur on their hands. And they have claws. They have the big, floppy ears. And then he decides to, look in the back of where it was. In which case, he finds one that has light blue hair. Boy, I wonder who's gonna be a protagonist. Anyway, and he says, you're special, aren't you? She tries to attack him, and then is essentially choked by the magic collar around her, keeping her contained. And he says, oh, you're pissed, and you want revenge on something. I'll make sure you get that sort of revenge. So then it cuts to... So then it ends right there with him picking her up saying, I'll buy this one. And then it ends. So, my thoughts on this episode. Because a review on this is going to be hard. Because I'm not going to rate the scenes out of pure decency. Because grape minus the G is not something I want to review on this channel. We are here for fetishes and vanilla. If one person is not having fun, then I don't want to be a part of it. So, animation is the exact same quality. Still, I've seen hentai with better animation. And I've also seen hentai where people are enjoying themselves more. So, I'm not going to rate it on the plot, because the plot is downright disgusting. And I'm not going to rate any of the characters, because I know all the horrible shit that's happened to him, and then he decides to do the exact same horrible shit? But you want to know why I like Berserk so much? Because he decides to, if he gets fucked up in one way or another, guts, he murders them instantly. They can't do anything more bad, and he's not keeping them around to torture. He's just there to murder them. It's such a clean way of moving past it. But no, this guy has to go above and beyond because he loves his job. Okay. I'm going to say that I'm definitely going to keep watching this because I hope to Jesus Christ in heaven it gets better. But if it continues down this same path, I'm going to be very pissed, and I'm going to find the friend who recommended this to me, and I'm going to hit him in the face with a 2x4. So, I'm going to keep watching this. That's my review. So, let's go ahead and end it there before I start going off on a bigger rant, because this is already running at about 15 minutes long, at least on this portion of it. So, until next time, I've been the Doctor, and have a nice day. Don't be a dick, there's too many of them, and wash your fucking hands. Thank you for the 42 subscribers, that is fucking insane. But until next time, the Doctor, out. Peace.